Thank you. At this time, my good notes are goofed up. Unit citations, correct? Valor, okay. Now I mind doing. Put that one, here we go. Canterbury Captain Corey Cassick, first to arrive on the scene, spoke with a family member outside the residence and established that there was a female entrapped on the second floor. Cassick then made an entry into the dwelling with a ladder owned by the resident. He threw the ladder to the second floor balcony and called for the victim to crawl to him. She could not. Due to the fire load and heavy smoke conditions, Cassick then climbed down the ladder and exited the dwelling and told the second firefighter at the scene confirmed entrapment. He then re-entered the dwelling, pulling lines and directing firefighters and rescue personnel to where the victim was located. Cassick then exited the dwelling and donned the SCBA and re-entered the home again, this time grabbing the hose line and going up the stairs with two firefighters helping with the line. Cassick then entered the heavy fire loads vigorously, administering fire suppression, which gave the rescuers that needed seconds to protect them and the victim to have a successful rescue. Cassick exited the dwelling with burns to his face and legs and was transported to the hospital for treatment. I'm proud to have Corey Cassick, Captain Corey Cassick, Canterbury Fire Department, forward. Supposed to get that too. Sean McVean, the second firefighter on the scene, gave a size up to the engine company. When they arrived and donned an air-packed hand lines and pike pole, he helped advance the line into those residents and started fire suppression. He then heard two firefighters from the balcony yelling, and they sounded in distress and heard the victim screaming. He ran to the other side of the house and found the ladder proceeding up to the second floor balcony. He went to ascend it to the elevated walkway and advised two firefighters they could not see them. I could hear them trying to direct, this is a little bit what he's saying now, direct each other and entrap female and what they were trying to do, but it wasn't impossible. I yelled to them to place my hand on her leg so I could understand her orientation so we could choreograph her movement and immediate extrication from the elevated location. With it becoming increasingly apparent that we were going to be able to reach the staircase to heat, intensity, and growing fire, we decided that we were going over the railing and down the ladder with her. The sirens outside that were hit by mistake, and that's a sign of evacuate the building. They chose not to evacuate the building. They were so close to getting her out. They stayed with her and kept rescuing. He seemed to stop and okay. They thought they were calling for immediate evacuation of the structure. At the very second, there was a massive flashover and trapped individual rolling up through the apex of the interior ceiling where we each drove to cover the entrapped individual. Debris began falling on us. The entrapped individual became unresponsive, and we instinctively hoisted her up and went over the railing and secured myself on the ladder, and they placed her in my arms. We descended the ladder, and I got her to the floor where I yelled for assistance. Sean McVean will be getting this Valor Award also. R.J. Miles, dual member with Scotland, firefighter with Wyndham Center. He arrived in on Scotland's truck that night. Once inside, he went in around the table and told us it was at the back door, and his husband was at the back door, and told us his wife was on the second floor walkway. He then proceeded around the living room set, seeing if they could make it up the stairs. There was too much fire at the top of the stairs, so he had to go up the ladder that was already in place. That was We went up the ladder and over the railing and found the victim about 3 to 4 feet away from him. I tried to pull her closer, and the ladder wasn't able to. He yelled down to the crew downstairs that I needed help and went back to the victim. The 3 firefighters with RJ, got the victim closer to the ladder and then had to cover her because of the ceiling fan coming down on us and the room started to roll over on us. We all yelled that we needed water. We lifted her up over the railing and put Sean's arms into Sean's arms. And went back up the ladder to help get Mike down. RJ Miles gets the Valor Award. Thank you. Yes. Michael R. Fisher, firefighter Michael R. Fisher, made entry into the house, began to climb up immediately after RJ. Mr. Fisher crawled to where the victim and Miles were located. Mr. Fisher placed his hands under the victim's arms and began to move her as quickly as possible to the balcony with the safest and the furthest, most sensible exit. As both firefighters and victim reached the balcony, they called down for further assistance. As a 3rd firefighter was reaching the victim, the flames came out of the residence over the 3 firefighters, nearly engulfing them along with the victim. Mr. Fisher, Mr. Miles, Mr. McVean laid on top of the victim to cover as much of the body as possible to keep her protected as the flames and burning debris fell on their backs. Mr. Fisher assisted lifting over the balcony into the arms of the 3rd firefighter and followed down the ladder only after the victim and the 3rd firefighter had safely reached the ground. Mr. Fisher will get the Valor Award. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So they earned the Life Savings Award. We'll be calling them back up here. Roger Miles. He entered the residence and was the first firefighter to climb a ladder to the balcony inside the residence. He smoked and fire and made contact with the victim. Firefighter Miles hit the debris falling from the ceiling during the rescue and was one of the firefighters to cover the victim in his own body and to protect her from further injury. Firefighter Miles, the victim over the railing and the waiting firefighter hit the victim in our residence. He was one of the key ones in getting Marianne out. He gets the Life-Saving Award. Sean McVean will also be getting that award. Mike Fisher. He entered the residence, climbed the ladder at the balcony inside the residence, through heavy smoke and fire. Made contact with the victim, with help. 2 fellow firefighters rescued women. Firefighter Fisher also hit with debris and falling from the ceiling during the rescue and was one of the firefighters to cover the victim with his own body and protect her from any further injury. Fisher helped with the victim over the railing to a waiting firefighter and assisted in getting the victim out of the residence. Mike Fisher, firefighter Mike Fisher will receive the Life-Saving Award. Thank you. Captain Corey Kasich, Canterbury Fire Department. He stood fast, positioned himself to make sure the rescue was successful. When the job was done, he told me, not as his dad, but as the chief, that he thought that someone was sure to die in there. In his own words, he said, the guys did one hell of a job. I totally agree. He does get the Life Saving Award.